There was lots of kind of hard and soft outcomes that we came away from that were really quite surprising. There's a lot of intentions that the programme sets out with regards to progress and how we respond to trauma moving forward, but there was a lot of quite surprising outcomes that were beyond our expectations of what we managed to achieve with the men. Men were reporting greater outputs in terms of how they responded to their mental health with regards to the tools that they were implying and using. They were reporting that previously having to attend our service under the influence of alcohol or drugs just to kind of get through that process, but they were either managing to reduce that with the use of some of the tools they were implementing, or indeed they didn't actually have that at all, which was massive. Their connections to their family, their partners were actually kind of wanting to find out more about the programme, because they noticed quite a shift in their other half in terms of how they were managing in their home life and how that was helping their relationship. But we were really interested in a lot of the softer kind of stories and whatever that came out of that. So it was really pleasing for us, and also looking at the amount of men we started with and the type of content we were delivering, very different. So we naturally thought a lot of men maybe drop off the programme, but that wasn't the case. We started with 7 and we finished with 6, which was really quite amazing. So so that was kind of our reflections with regards to the initial pilot. But to sum it up, it surpassed all expectations. So I think for myself, it's easy to look at a programme as just being a programme, but I tend to look at Connectere now as a way of working. And certainly for me, a lot of the aspects that I've learned, it's the only way I can kind of describe it is putting a pair of spectacles on and being able to see things through a different light. Because a lot of the aspects of the programme I'm then able to imply in individual sessions. I'm able to identify things at report writing stage that might show linkage with things that have happened previously in somebody's life, but how do we then seek to support them, not to dwell on that. And I think a lot of the previous training I've been on with regards to trauma, and I think it would be a fair assessment of most of the people I work with regards to staff, is that we all have a great awareness of trauma, but there's a fear in what to be able to do with that. And I think that even for individuals who aren't on the programme, I have a lot of learning and tools that I can then apply, whether that's us doing direct work, but also having a greater awareness of how to support that individual in other kind of fields and so on, and to make sure we're not re-traumatising them, to support them on transitional pathways into other services. So there's a lot of conversation about not having somebody have to retell their story, and really trying to help them navigate that and join the dots a lot better for people. Some of the connections they've made through some of the skills they developed in the latter stages of the programme, looking at how they start to form more positive connections, how they keep that going, how they build routine in their life, and almost find their own communities to help build their therapeutic journey, has been absolutely fantastic. And really we're looking at those guys now, or a couple of those individuals, to really promote what goes forward as lived experts. So it's been fantastic for us. I mean, I think it's probably one of the greatest strengths that the programme has in terms of lived experts, and you probably see a bit of a smile on my face when speaking about that, because they were so overwhelmingly positive, both for the men on the group, but also for us as facilitators to be able to explain some of the concepts so succinctly, provide real and authentic life experience to that, and for the men to be really able to relate to a lot of those experiences. And I think a lot of the, we speak about light bulb moments in a lot of aspects of, our trainers and social work generally, but I think that's where a lot of the connections were made for the men. But this is one of the aspects of my job that I get really excited about, and I really enjoy coming in and seeing the guys develop their own takeaways for how they manage their trauma going forward, and seeing those real life differences that it makes to them in their own little communities, in their own little worlds is fantastic. If we are nurturing people in a safe, protective, connected environment, how do we then show the impact towards that? And I think, certainly from our cohort of men, that was absolutely evident. So it's something that I'm really passionate about, and I think it's really liberating for justice workers to be able to have this toolkit, not just for saying, this is for 8 men on the programme and that's it. I can't unlearn that now. So I look at every individual who comes through in that, through those spectacles, if you want to use that kind of analogy, whether it's for a court report, whether it's a diversion, whether it's somebody, for a licence, doesn't really matter to me. It's really kind of revolutionised the way I'm working at the minute, so I'm really grateful for that.